You're not broke because you're lazy. You're broke because of something nobody ever taught you to see. Here's the story we all get told. You're broke because you don't work hard enough, or you don't earn enough, and the fix is simple: just make more money. But you already know people who make good money and are still broke. And you probably know someone who doesn't earn much at all, yet somehow always seems fine. So the "just earn more" story is missing something. In this video, I'm going to walk through 5 hidden reasons people stay broke. Reasons that have almost nothing to do with how hard you work, and then exactly what actually breaks the cycle. Stick around for the last one because it's the habit doing the most damage, and it's the one almost nobody talks about. Reason number 1. It was never about how much money comes in, it's about the gap between what comes in and what goes out. This sounds obvious, but almost nobody actually lives like they believe it. Picture 2 people. The first earns a large salary, but spends almost all of it. Nice car, bigger apartment, the lifestyle that matches the paycheck. The second earns far less, but keeps a real gap between what they earn and what they spend. Fast forward a few years, and the second person has options: savings, a small investment, breathing room, while the first is one missed paycheck away from panic, despite earning more. The reason this happens has a name: lifestyle creep. Every time your income goes up, your spending quietly rises to meet it. The raise disappears, the bonus disappears, and because it happens gradually, you never notice the moment it slipped away. This is why earning more on its own almost never fixes being broke. If the gap stays at 0, a bigger income just means a bigger, more expensive version of the exact same problem. Wealth doesn't live in your income, it lives in the gap. Reason number 2. Most of your spending isn't about the thing you're buying. It's about how you feel in the moment you buy it. Think about the last time you bought something you didn't really need. You were probably tired, stressed, bored, or a little low. The purchase wasn't really about the product. It was about buying a small moment of relief. A tiny hit of, "I did something nice for myself." And there is nothing wrong with that once in a while. The problem is when it becomes the main way you manage your emotions. This is why the classic advice, "just stop buying coffee," misses the point completely. The coffee was never the problem. The pattern is the problem. You're using spending to regulate stress, and as long as the stress is there, cutting one purchase just moves the same urge somewhere else. The people who get free of this don't rely on willpower. They notice the feeling first, the tiredness, the boredom, the urge for relief. And they find a way to meet that feeling that doesn't cost money. That awareness, not discipline, is what quietly saves them thousands over a year. Reason number 3. The sentence, "I'll start when I earn more." I'll start saving when I earn more. I'll start investing when I earn more. I'll get serious about money once things calm down. This feels responsible. It sounds like a plan. But it's actually the single most reliable way to stay exactly where you are. Because more is a moving target that never arrives. Here's the proof. Think about how much you earn now versus a few years ago. For most people, it's more. Now ask yourself, do you feel proportionally richer? Usually not, because when the money went up, the habits stayed the same. So the extra just got absorbed. This is exactly why people who receive sudden windfalls often end up broke again within a couple of years. It was never a money problem, it was a habit problem. And a bigger number can't fix a broken system, it just runs the same broken system with more fuel. The habits you build while you have little are the habits that decide what happens when you finally have more. Reason number 4, and this one goes deeper. The money beliefs you absorbed before you were old enough to question them. Long before you earned a single dollar, you were watching how the adults around you handled money, whether they argued about it, whether it was a source of stress or calm, whether we can't afford it, was said with fear, or just as a simple fact. You absorbed all of it, and it became a quiet script running in the back of your mind. For a lot of people, that script says something like, "Money is stressful, so don't look at it." Or, "Money is something that happens to me, not something I control." Or, "People like me don't get to be wealthy." You never chose these beliefs, you inherited them, but you act on them every single day without noticing. The powerful part is this: once you can actually name the script you're running, it loses most of its grip. You get to ask for the first time, is this belief even true? And is it mine? And very often the answer is no. That question alone has changed more financial futures than any budgeting app ever will. Reason number 5, and this is the big one, the habit doing the most quiet damage. You don't look. You don't check your balance. You don't open the banking app. You have a rough, hopeful guess about where your money is, and you avoid confirming it because confirming it feels stressful. If this stings a little, it's because it's common. Far more common than anyone admits. Here's why not looking is so destructive. Money you don't look at becomes a feeling instead of a number. And feelings are terrible at math. When money is just a vague sense of, I think I'm okay, or I think I'm in trouble, you can't make a single good decision about it because you don't actually have the facts. Every avoided glance lets small problems grow in the dark. The subscription you forgot, the slow creep of spending, the gap quietly closing to zero. The people who turn their money around almost always describe the same starting point. Not a raise, not a windfall. They just started looking. Regularly, calmly, without judgment. Because you cannot change a number you refuse to see. So what actually breaks the cycle? Not willpower. Not a strict budget you'll abandon in a week. It starts with awareness. Simply seeing the patterns we just walked through in your own life. That alone changes behavior more than most people expect. Then you make it automatic, so it doesn't depend on you feeling motivated. The most powerful version of this is simple. The moment any money arrives, a small slice moves somewhere else, out of sight before you can touch it, automatically. You're not relying on discipline at the end of the month, when the money and the willpower are both gone. You're building the gap into the system itself at the very start. And then, once the gap exists and it's protected, you work on the other side of it, growing what comes in. That's where a second stream of income changes everything, because now the extra money lands in a system that actually keeps it, instead of one that leaks it. This is the whole reason this channel exists, to help you build that second stream. But understand the order. A new income poured into old habits just disappears faster. Fix the system first, then feed it. You're not broke because you're broken or lazy or bad with money. You're running invisible patterns that almost nobody was ever taught to see, and now you can see them. You don't need to fix all 5 today. Pick one. Open the app and look at the real number. Or set up one automatic transfer, even a tiny one. Or just name one money belief you inherited and never chose. One small, honest action beats another year of waiting for the perfect moment. If this shifted something for you, subscribe. This channel is about seeing money clearly and building real income with no hype and no fake guarantees. See you in the next one.